what if I told you that being alone is not a weakness but a superpower? That the very thing most people fear, the silence, the solitude, is the key to unlocking your greatest potential. We live in a world that teaches us to fear being alone, to seek constant validation, to surround ourselves with noise. But the truth is, the most powerful, most successful people in history have one thing in common. They embraced solitude. Because in those quiet moments when the world fades away, that's when you truly meet yourself. And once you do, nothing can stop you. Ladies and gentlemen, you may have walked in here today feeling like you are standing alone, like the world is moving forward without you. Maybe you've been told that being alone is a weakness, that solitude is something to fear, that without the constant presence of others, you are incomplete. But today I challenge that idea. I challenge you to see the truth that has always been right in front of you. Being alone is not a burden, it is a source of power. It is not a void, it is a space where your greatest strength resides. And when you embrace it, when you truly understand the gift of solitude, you unlock something within yourself that no one else can take away. The world teaches us to fear being alone. It tells us that success, happiness, and fulfillment all come from external validation, from the approval of friends, family, colleagues, and society. We are conditioned to seek constant connection, to measure our worth by the opinions of others. But the truth is, some of the most powerful, life-changing moments happen when you are alone. Because it is in those moments, when the distractions fade and the noise of the world quiets, that you finally come face to face with the one person who truly matters. You. Think about it. How often do we really take the time to sit with ourselves, to ask the hard questions? When was the last time you paused to reflect on your life, your choices, your future? In the rush of daily life, it is easy to get caught up in routines and obligations and the constant demand to keep moving forward. It is easy to live on autopilot, responding to the world around us without ever truly checking in with ourselves. But when you are alone, when the world goes quiet, that is when clarity emerges. That is when you are forced to look within and ask, am I living the life I truly want? Am I becoming the person I was meant to be? There is no escaping who you are when you are alone. There are no distractions to mask your doubts, no outside voices to drown out your inner truth. And yes, that can be uncomfortable because solitude forces you to confront the thoughts you've been avoiding. It brings your fears, your regrets, your dreams, and your hopes to the surface. But here's the secret. Facing those truths is not something to fear. It is the key to unlocking your strength. Many of the greatest decisions you will ever make, the ones that shape the course of your life, will not come from the opinions of others. They will not come in moments of chaos surrounded by noise. They will come in solitude. When you step away from the expectations of the world and listen to your own voice, that is when you find your true direction. Think back to a moment in your life when you had to make a difficult decision. Maybe it was a job opportunity that required courage to pursue. Maybe it was the decision to leave a situation that no longer served you. Maybe it was the realization that you needed to change, to grow, to take a risk that terrified you. Now, ask yourself, was that decision made in a crowded room with countless voices telling you what to do? Or did the answer come to you in a moment of stillness, when you allowed yourself the space to truly think? The most powerful people in history did not make their boldest decisions based on the expectations of others. They made them in moments of solitude when they found the strength to trust themselves. They understood that true power does not come from the world's approval, it comes from within. But the truth is, most people fear being alone. Not because solitude is bad, but because it strips away the illusions we hide behind. It forces us to face ourselves, to sit with our doubts and fears without distraction. It demands that we take responsibility for our own lives, and that is terrifying for many, because it is easier to blame the world, to seek validation from others, to let someone else define our path. But if you never embrace solitude, you will never truly know yourself. Self-reflection is not just about looking back on what has happened. It is about looking inward, about asking yourself the tough questions. What do I really want in life? What am I afraid to admit? Where am I holding myself back? And most importantly, what do I need to change in order to move forward? When you allow yourself to sit in that silence, when you stop running from the truth, something incredible happens. You begin to see yourself clearly. You begin to understand your own power. And once you realize that you are in control of your own life, that you do not need anyone else's permission to be great, you become unstoppable. So the next time you find yourself alone, do not run from it. Do not fill the silence with meaningless distractions. Instead, embrace it. Because in that solitude, in that space where the world fades away, is where you will find the strength, the clarity, and the courage to become the person you were always meant to be. This is only the beginning. The journey continues. The power within you is just waiting to be discovered. And when you fully embrace it, nothing will ever hold you back again. The world around us is loud. Every day we are bombarded with voices, opinions, expectations, the endless noise of social media, the pressure to conform, to fit into a mold that was never meant for us. It's easy to get lost in it all, to lose sight of who we are in a rush to meet the demands of everyone else. But when you step away from that noise, when you allow yourself to be alone, something extraordinary happens. You begin to hear your own voice. Most people never take the time to truly know themselves. They drift through life reacting to circumstances instead of creating their own path. They let the world shape them instead of shaping their own destiny. But the ones who rise, the ones who create, the ones who lead, they do not fear solitude. They embrace it because they understand that in solitude they are not lost, they are found. Think about the greatest minds, the visionaries who changed the course of history. They did not build their legacies by following the crowd. They did not wait for permission to be great. They spent time alone, thinking, creating, planning. They had moments of doubt, just like you. They had fears. They faced setbacks. But in those moments of solitude, they found their clarity. They found their purpose. And once they discovered it, nothing could stop them. You too have that power within you. But you will never find it if you are always surrounded by noise, always seeking validation, always looking for someone else to tell you what to do. True power comes from within. It comes from knowing yourself so deeply that no outside force can shake your foundation. It comes from trusting yourself when no one else does, but that trust must be built. And that is where solitude becomes your greatest ally. You see, the reason so many people avoid being alone is because they do not want to face themselves. They fear what they will find when the distractions are stripped away, but the truth is that fear is an illusion. The thoughts you are running from, the doubts, the insecurities, they only have power over you because you refuse to face them. What if, instead of running, you stood still? What if you sat with your thoughts, allowed yourself to feel every emotion without judgment, and simply listened? What if you embraced the silence instead of fearing it? You would begin to see the truth, that you are not weak, that you are not lost, that everything you have ever needed has always been inside of you. But you must be willing to go within. You must be willing to ask yourself the hard questions. What do I really want? Am I living my life for myself, or am I living for the expectations of others? What is holding me back? Am I afraid of failure, or am I afraid of success? These questions are not easy, but they are necessary, because the moment you stop running from them, the moment you allow yourself to sit in that stillness and listen, is the moment you take control of your life. The world will try to tell you who you are. It will try to define your worth, your potential, your limits. But the world does not know you. It does not know the fire that burns within you. It does not know your dreams, your struggles, your strength. Only you do. And that is why the only voice that truly matters is your own. Solitude is not loneliness, it is power. It is in those moments of quiet that your greatest ideas will come. It is in those moments that you will see solutions where before there were only problems. It is in those moments that you will finally understand that you are enough. You do not need permission to be great. You do not need validation to pursue your dreams. You do not need approval to live the life you were meant to live. Everything you need is already within you. And once you realize that, once you truly accept it, your entire world will change. This journey is just beginning. There is more to uncover, more to learn, more strength within you waiting to be unleashed. The path ahead is yours to walk, and with every step, you will discover just how powerful you truly are. There comes a moment in life when you realize that no one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you the life you dream of. No one is going to pull you out of your struggles and place you into success. It's up to you. And that realization, that responsibility, can feel overwhelming at first. But let me tell you something. It is also the most freeing realization you will ever have. Because once you accept that your life is in your hands, you stop waiting, you stop wishing, you stop depending on external forces to determine your fate. Instead, you take control, you take responsibility, and you begin to create. This is why solitude is so powerful. It forces you to see the truth. When you are alone, there are no distractions, no noise to cloud your mind, no expectations pulling you in different directions. It is just you and your reality. And in that space, you have a choice. You can either use solitude to reflect, to grow, to build a foundation so strong that nothing can shake you, or you can run from it, drown it out with distractions, and remain stagnant. Most people choose the latter. They fear being alone with their thoughts, afraid of what they might uncover. But the ones who rise, the ones who transform their lives, they embrace solitude. They sit with the discomfort, they ask the hard questions, and they use the answers to build themselves into something greater. So I ask you today, which will you choose? Will you continue to seek validation from a world that does not know your heart, your dreams, your struggles? Or will you turn inward and find your own strength, your own clarity, your own truth? Because here is the reality. When you stop seeking approval, when you stop living for the expectations of others, you become dangerous. You become untouchable. Think about the most successful, most resilient, most unstoppable people in the world. They are not the ones who spend their lives trying to fit in. They are the ones who have mastered the art of standing alone. They are the ones who trust themselves so deeply that nothing, no opinion, no rejection, no setback can shake their confidence. You have that power within you. But it will only reveal itself when you embrace solitude. Now, I won't lie to you, this journey is not easy. There will be moments when you doubt yourself, moments when you question whether you are strong enough to walk this path alone, moments when you wonder if it would be easier to go back, to blend in, to live a life dictated by others. But let me tell you this. The greatest version of you does not exist in comfort. The strongest version of you is not built in ease, the life you are capable of living. The one filled with purpose, success, and fulfillment does not come from following the crowd. It comes from stepping away. It comes from standing alone. It comes from trusting yourself so fiercely that nothing and no one can pull you off your path. And yes, people will question you. They will doubt you. They will try to convince you that solitude is loneliness, that standing apart is weakness. But that is because they do not understand the power of knowing yourself. They do not understand that when you master your own mind, your own emotions, your own path, you become unstoppable. So I say to you, do not fear being alone. Do not fear silence. Do not fear the moments when it is just you and your thoughts. Because it is in those moments that you will discover who you truly are. And once you do, once you see the strength that has always been within you, you will never be the same again. The journey is not over. There is more to uncover, more to build, more power within you waiting to rise. The path ahead is still yours to walk, and with every step you will grow stronger, bolder, more unstoppable than ever before. There is a reason why so many people never reach their full potential. It is not because they lack talent. It is not because they lack opportunity. It is because they are afraid to stand alone. They are afraid to walk a path that others do not understand. They are afraid to trust themselves more than they trust the opinions of the world. But the truth is, the people who change their lives, the people who change the world, are the ones who refuse to be controlled by fear. They are the ones who break away from the crowd, who embrace the silence, who use solitude not as a prison, but as a place to sharpen their vision, to strengthen their resolve, to build themselves into something unshakable. You see, solitude is not just about finding yourself. It is about forging yourself. Because when you are alone, you are free. Free to think, free to dream, free to create without the influence of others pulling you in different directions, free to become exactly who you were meant to be. But with that freedom comes responsibility. The responsibility to be honest with yourself, to stop making excuses, to stop blaming the world for your circumstances. Because when you are alone, there is no one left to point the finger at. It is just you and the reality you have created. And that can be uncomfortable, that can be painful, but it is also powerful, because in that moment you realize something life-changing. If you have created a reality that does not fulfill you, you also have the power to change it. No more waiting, no more seeking approval, no more living according to the expectations of others. This is your life, so what are you going to do with it? Will you continue to let fear dictate your choices? Will you continue to seek validation from people who do not understand your vision? Or will you rise? Will you take control? Will you embrace the solitude, the stillness, the power that comes from knowing yourself so deeply that nothing can shake you? Because let me tell you something, the moment you stop fearing solitude, the moment you stop running from the silence, you will discover a strength you never knew you had, a confidence that does not rely on anyone else, a vision so clear that no amount of doubt or rejection can cloud it. And that is when everything changes. The people who succeed in life are not the ones who are constantly surrounded by others, constantly seeking reassurance, constantly waiting for someone to give them permission to move forward. They are the ones who make decisions in solitude. They are the ones who spend hours, days, months, even years working on their craft, on their ideas, on their purpose. While the rest of the world is distracted, they are the ones who use solitude as a weapon, as a tool, as a sanctuary where they can think without interruption, where they can plan without interference, where they can execute without hesitation. And you can do the same, but you must be willing to break away. You must be willing to trust yourself even when no one else does. You must be willing to walk alone, to stand alone, to believe in yourself so fiercely that nothing can pull you off your path. Because once you reach that level of clarity, once you embrace the power of solitude, you will never go back. You will never again doubt your own strength. You will never again feel the need to seek validation from others. You will never again live according to someone else's definition of success. You will finally, fully, completely own your life. And when you do that, when you take that kind of control over your destiny, nothing can stop you. This is not the end. The journey continues. And with every step you take, you are becoming stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable than ever before. You have walked this journey in your mind. You have faced the truth about yourself, about the world, about the power that has always been within you. And now there is only one thing left to do. Step into it fully, unapologetically, without hesitation, because here is the truth. You were never meant to live an average life. You were never meant to simply exist, to follow the path that others have laid out for you, to shrink yourself to fit into a world that does not understand your power. You were meant to stand tall. You were meant to be great. And the only thing standing between you and the life you deserve is your willingness to claim it. For too long you have doubted yourself. For too long you have waited for the right moment, waited for approval, waited for someone to tell you that you are good enough, ready enough, strong enough. But you do not need permission to be great. You do not need validation to chase your dreams. You do not need anyone else to tell you that you are capable, because you already are, and now it is time to act like it. No more waiting, no more hesitating, no more listening to the doubts that try to hold you back. Because the strongest version of you does not wait. The most powerful version of you does not seek approval. The greatest version of you does not let fear dictate their choices. The greatest version of you already exists waiting for you to step into it, but that will never happen if you keep running from solitude, because solitude is not just a place of reflection, it is a place of transformation. It is where you turn fear into courage. It is where you turn doubt into conviction. It is where you take all of the lessons you have learned, all of the clarity you have gained, and use them to build the life you were meant to live. And when you do that, when you finally stop seeking external validation and start trusting yourself completely, something incredible happens. You become unstoppable. No obstacle can break you. No failure can define you. No rejection can stop you. Because you are no longer playing by the world's rules, you are creating your own. And that, my friend, is freedom. The freedom to be who you truly are. The freedom to chase your dreams without apology. The freedom to rise again and again, no matter how many times you fall. Because you will fall, you will fail, you will face setbacks, but none of that matters. What matters is that you keep going. What matters is that you keep believing. What matters is that you never, ever let fear stop you from becoming the person you were always meant to be. Because at the end of the day, no one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you the life you dream of. It is up to you. And that is the greatest gift of all. Because when you finally realize that you are in control, when you stop waiting and start acting, there is nothing that can stand in your way. So stand tall, stand strong, stand in your power, because this is your life, and it is time to own it.